I messed up tonight. I lost another fight. I still mess up, but I'll just start again. I keep falling down. I keep on hitting the ground. I always get enough. See what's next. Birds don't just fly. They fall down and get up. Nobody learns without getting it wrong. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Zootopia Minute, the minute-by-minute podcast where we review, analyze, and scrutinize the hit film of 2016, Zootopia. And we are back now with minute 32 of our film, and that's going to begin with 3200 and go to 3259 if you're following along with us. My name is Simul, as always. I am joined by my wonderful co-host.
Choco, I'm back. And I have Five Guys, thanks to my
Oh,
roommate.
it's Five Guys your roommate got you? Oh my gosh. Five Guys is so good.
I mean, but as a Californian, In-N-Out is a little bit superior. And now that I'm living in Austin, it's obviously all about
Where did
pizzeries.
Five Guys come from originally?
It's East Coast, I think. New
East
York
Coast.
area.
Okay, that makes it cool. Five Guys is good. I've only had In-N-Out once a long time ago, but we'll get more into the minutia of burger joints later on in the episode, perhaps. But once again, this is minute 32 of the film Zootopia, so that is once again from 3200 to 3259, and that begins right as Mrs. Otterton bursts in. Clawhauser says, "I'm sorry, sir." He's all winded. "I'm sorry, sir. I tried to stop her. She's super slippery. I gotta go sit down." And proceeds all the way through this wonderful conversation they're having in Bogo's office until Bogo tells Judy that she is fired and that she is going to tell that Otter outside that she is a former meter maid. And that's where the minute ends. We don't know what happens next. Another cutoff right at the end there. We seem to have bad luck with those most of the time. Well, very interesting minute indeed. This one consists primarily of Mrs. Otterton coming in and saying, "Oh, please, my husband's missing. Why can't you do anything? I need someone to help." Judy offers help, and she gets in trouble with Bogo, which seems to be a favorite pastime of hers at this point, doesn't it?
And this is her first day on the job, I think. So, second day on the job.
Second, because we had that scene where she goes back to her apartment.
She's
before.
already being insubordinate to her
It's a new
officer.
Academy record.
Yep, there we go. All right. Interesting minute. I think it's funny. We get to see Clawhauser come in. Of course, otters are little slippery weasels. They're related to weasels, same family. Clawhauser saying she's super slippery. I wonder if that's, again,
Right,
talking about the offensive thing.
Well,
this
did
world.
he
What's
grab
offensive?
her? Did he try to, physically grab her and she just,
Oh.
slips out of it? She's super slippery. What? Okay. That seems
See,
a
now
bit
that goes
forceful.
into Pepe Le Pew territory where he might, if he did, that would be,
Yeah, we were talking about that before recording this too. How Pepe Le Pew's being viewed, if that was around today, it'd be viewed as a bit borderline.
No, it's funny because I just
Salt.
started watching some old cartoons the other day. Recess, Looney Tunes, watch Pepe Le Pew. I'm like, he's kind of a sexual assaulter, I guess, in today's context.
Well, there's a lot of things in old, because
And
people
racist,
don't
too.
realize Looney Tunes is very, very old. You can find Looney Tunes clips that go back to their advertisements for war bonds in World War II. Looney Tunes has been around for a long time, and so there have been Looney Tunes stuff that have shown stuff that by today's standards would absolutely not be allowed. The use of blackface, racial stereotypes like that. And oftentimes they'll be presented nowadays with a little note at the beginning that says, "The following cartoons are presented in their original format as they occurred at the time." And it's a note about how society's views were different back then and that we're showing it unaltered to show you that this happened. And I think that's good, right? I think it's good.
See, that's what we should be
show
doing to
things as it
statues.
happened.
We're talking about how a lot of these old statues are being taken down around the United States, and that's
Confederate
should have a plaque like
memorials.
that. The Censored 11 Looney Tunes are the most infamous ones, but
Yeah, fun. Well, before we get too off track right off the bat, back into this minute here. So what's going on is we had this conversation here between Judy and Bogo Mrs. Otterton charges in. This is the same Otter we saw near the end of minute 30, which we showed live at Everfree Northwest. Go watch that video if you haven't yet. It was our very first live episode. Lots of fun. But we saw her at the end of that minute talking to Clawhauser. He was saying, I'm sorry, Mrs. Otterton. We know you're upset. No one can talk to you right now. No one can see you. So now we find out what exactly the trouble is. Her husband is missing and has been missing for 10 days is what she sees. So that's a long time.
That is a long time.
And
She
so
should report it sooner. She's not a caring wife then.
yeah, what the heck? I mean, well, I think the presumption is that she did show up sooner, but the police are too busy. And presumably they're too busy with all these missing mammal cases. And you'd think, well, isn't this another missing mammal case? Are they showing preferential treatment to the larger mammals? What's going on here?
Yeah.
So her husband's missing, and what you show here is, again, with an interesting work with the camera work, quote-unquote camera work. It's not a real camera, it's a 3D set. But the interesting view we see in the cinematography here where she says, my husband's missing, and the viewers are shown this photograph that she's brought in. That's her and her husband, her family, and it's a slow zoom in, and we see Judy's face as well. She's like, oh, that's so sad. And it's playing with the viewer's emotions, you know. And actually, it's something that Mrs. Otterton does as well. She talks about, his name is Emmett Otterton. He's a loving, loving husband. He's a florist. We have these children. It's not like him to disappear. So instantly the audience is greeted with this very humanizing view. Well, not humanizing, otterizing view. This very otterizing view of this missing otter. And it gets the audience involved right away.
Sure, we could say that. And it also, I guess, helps that they're super adorable looking.
They are. They're very cute.
Anyone who's seen pictures of otters, yeah, they're just the most adorable thing. And when you anthropomorphize them and give them big eyes, it makes them look even more adorable.
Yeah, so, I mean, it makes me wonder, why exactly did the police not have these resources? Because she's going on and on and on, and Chief Bogo's like, Mrs. Otterton, our detectives are very busy. And it's like, that's not a reassuring thing to tell someone whose husband is missing. Like, we understand we're too busy. This is a huge city. How do you not have the resources for it? Get some work in from other precincts. What's going on here? Seriously.
Yeah, well, obviously it's because they don't hire more bunnies.
Yeah, clearly.
They breed a lot, so they would have more resources if they were hiring bunnies.
Maybe
so
that was why Bogo was so insistent on not hiring a bunny, because in the previous minute he's like, do you think they took my feelings into account when they stationed you here? It's like, maybe that was the whole issue. It's like, I don't want a bunny. We'll hire one bunny and soon there'll be 20,000 bunnies on the force. You know how they are.
Do you think he has a bit of prejudice that he doesn't like bunnies?
Maybe. I mean, she only got in from that mammal inclusion program, right?
But she was top of her class.
She was top of her class.
So there you go. He doesn't have any excuse.
Yeah,
racist.
He's just a whiner. He's just a racist whiner.
All right. Well, it's a fantastic minute. We get to actually see, because we talked about a lot in previous minutes, but we actually get to see the map of the city in the background.
Yeah, I love when we can see that stuff.
Which is fantastic, because we actually see the little divisions of all the little places. And it's very similar to the concept art book map.
Something I noticed right away is that, and I'm not sure which is which, looking at that map, but 3 of these big segments all have like sort of a squiggly naturally boundary, and then one of them has this perfectly straight one. I suspect that's the boundary between Tundra Town and Sahara Square, because when we see the train earlier in the film, we see that it's a big giant wall separating those two. So I imagine that flat border is that border right there. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. So we also have, I guess, Judy going into more insubordination by offering to help Mrs. Otterton.
That's right. Bogo keeps saying, no, I'm sorry. We're all too busy. We can't help. Judy pipes up, I'll find him. You know, that defiant sort of protagonist voice that she uses.
Protagonist.
Of course. Protagonist. Yeah.
She shall overcome. You know, I really would like to have Mike and Jay from Red Letter Media as guests.
Let's get Mr. Plinkett on.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Have the Mr. Plinkett voice. I would love that.
In character. That'd be so great.
Yeah. Actually,
even do that.
The Your Movie Sucks guy as well, Adam, because I think he did a review of Zootopia, and it was very similar to my experience, because I guess he's a furry, so he went with a bunch of furries, and they're all howling at the screen. I was like, yeah, I need to hear his impressions of his Zootopia viewing experience.
That's funny.
But she offers to help Mrs. Otterton, and then Mrs. Otterton goes up to hug her and says, "Thank you, little bunny." But
bless you,
little bunny. But she's smaller.
I know. I made
Judy.
the same observation. Yeah.
So why is she calling her little when she's
bunny.
smaller than Judy?
The otter's smaller than the. Well, first of all, hold up. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier too, in minute 30 and a few different minutes, how Judy, if she really is a rabbit, she seems like a larger rabbit than most rabbits would be compared to a fox, compared to a lot of these other characters, especially an otter, right? Otters are not super small. Shouldn't the bunny be smaller than the otter?
Yeah, she should be slightly, well, she'll be longer, but...
Otters are fairly big.
It's curious.
Otters are bigger than like house cats, aren't they?
Well, it depends on if it's a freshwater or a seawater otter.
Is it an African or a European otter? That's the question.
Yeah, but she's smaller than Judy, so I don't know what she's talking about.
Actually, speaking of African otters, who voiced her? Because the voice sounds slightly black.
Oh.
And I don't mean... No, you know what I mean, though. No one can deny that there's a voice there. There's a different in accents, because linguistically those accents developed differently.
I actually did not
American populations.
pick up... I thought she just sounded Southern.
That could be too. That might be part of it. I would have to go back and watch again, but she sounds like she might have that kind of voice.
Okay, I'm going to use my one Google search
to find out who voiced Mrs. Otterton.
Voice actor is Octavia Spencer.
Octavia.
Who is, you're correct, she's an African-American actress.
I knew it! See that? I've got those ears.
She's best known for her role in the movie The Help.
Oh!
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And she's received the Golden Globe, BFA Award, Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. So, yeah, she's been around.
So she is indeed an African otter. Okay.
She voices Dr. Evelli in Which is a Wizardly Place, and is the voice of... Mrs. Otterton. So you're correct. So I think I'm correct because she's from Montgomery, Alabama.
So because my guess is right, it means I'm not racist, right? If I was wrong, it means I would be racist. But...
No, I thought she was Southern, so I'm right on the Southern part because she's from Alabama, right. And you thought she was African of descent, and you're correct. So there we go. And her name's Octavia too, which is a pony name.
Our episode title will be African or European Otters or something of that line.
But she has a pony name too, so she's obviously a brony.
Octavia.
So I'm correct on that
She's a brony. Guess. That brings it back to our pony viewership as well. There you go. There always has to be at least one thing per episode.
Octavia Spencer. Go say hi to her, I guess, if she's on Twitter. Say we sent you. I don't know.
I learned something today. Perfect. Very good. Yeah, well, she says, yes, bless you, little bunny. Bless you. Thank you so much. And Bogo sees this and sort of snorts or growls in miffed anger at Judy, which
he eats her,
and that's the whole movie. So
that's
we made it. We made. Is this 4? Oh, gosh, we gotta keep these types of things are gonna be unavoidable as we get further into this movie because it's a furry movie. So
hashtag not furries.
We're not furries.
We need to add that to our Twitter page. Hashtag not furries.
Will just be the podcast Twitter name. It'll be @NotFurries, but the display name will be Zootopia Minute.
Now that I'm going to a Midwest Fur Fest, you really should come, and we should do this as a panel.
I want to go to a FurCon with you. I can help you with your table. It'd be fun.
Okay, let's do Midwest Fur Fest. It's in, I think, November or December.
Okay, maybe. When I might be doing Equestria LA too. So when is that?
Oh, I'm doing that. Oh shoot, I'm doing that too. I hope they're not overlapping.
They're both in like winter. I know, aren't they?
Ooh, that's a good idea. Okay, let me check. Continue, and I'll look up this stuff.
All right, so, yeah. What we see next is, Bogo is upset about this, growls. The movie does not end. She does not get eaten. And Bogo says, Mrs. Otterton, would you please mind waiting outside for a moment? Closes the door. Just 1 second. We'll be right back. Turns around and immediately, you're fired. And Judy seems very incredulous. She's like, what? Why? To which Bogo says, the obvious answer, insubordination. Which is, it's true, technically. I mean, she's not following directions. That's the whole thing. I've said this before in earlier minutes, too, is Judy is not happy being a meter maid, but really, like, what can she expect? It was her first day on the job, and she expects this huge assignment. She was top of her class, but it's her first day on the job. I would expect to have a meter maid job on my first day. I mean, that seems
she has to prove herself.
Yeah, and now she really is being insubordinate. So, like, I feel like a lot of this movie so far for me has just been Judy's complaining, and I'm not really on her side the whole time with it.
Yeah, and me coming from the military background a bit, that was the critique I've been bringing up the last few minutes. That she's being really insubordinate. My father, who was not only a Marine Corps officer, he was also with the Oakland Police Department. Yeah, this type of things would not fly. I watched the movie with him, and he was. I think he was thinking she was a little bit insubordinate as well. But
yeah.
He was more interested in the shipping aspects of the
Well,
movie.
speaking of your dad, because you mentioned that you guys had watched Doctor Strange, and then afterwards, like a little kid, he had a flashlight or something and was doing the portal opening. I saw Doctor Strange like a week ago for the first time. It was good.
It was good, wasn't it?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Benedict Cumberbatch's American accents.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Band-Aid, Cucumber Man. Yeah, him. That guy.
Cumberland, yeah. It's good movie. I liked it because it had a lot of things that I would pick up as a Taoist influence, as much as
the
like
Eastern
any
mysticism,
any
kind of
Westerner,
psychedelic, eye-opening weirdness.
Yeah. I think a lot of Westerners, when they watch any TV shows or movies, they're so used to seeing Judaic-Christian stuff in the background, it doesn't really pop up. For me, being raised Eastern mysticism, seeing a little bit of that in the background, it's like, hey, I know that. That's cool. So it's cool to see that on screen.
It was a good movie. Well, before we get sidetracked again,
Yeah.
that is essentially where the minute ends. We have Bogo getting mad saying, "You're fired for insubordination. Now here's what's going to happen. You're going to go out there and tell that Otter that you are a former meter maid." And that's where the minute ends. So that, again, former meter maid. She just got fired, technically.
Yeah.
So I wonder where the movie will go from here. Like, if Judy is fired, where's the rest of the plot? Is she... That would suck, right? If she's really fired right there, the whole message of the movie is like going out, doing anything, or presumably that's where it's leading, right? So
okay, assuming she does get fired, let's just make random predictions. Assuming she does get fired, I would assume that she's going to find a way to get back into the police department.
Mm-hmm.
So
Clear her name.
she's going to find a crime, and as a regular civilian, she's going to try to investigate a crime and catch maybe, this big criminal, we don't know how to catch him, and she's going to catch up and turn him into the police department, and at the end of the movie, it's like, you got your job back, congratulations, or something
now
like that.
She's a PI. She's going to open a private eye place. Or she's the rogue cop. Judy Hopps is a bunny cop who doesn't play by the rules.
No, see, that's a good thing. She gets fired, she opens her own PI, but with the intent of getting back to police department. Let's say she busts the big case, catch the big criminal at the end, the Chief Bogo and the other police say, congratulations, you did a fine job, here's your job back. She's like, you know what? No, thank you, but I think I like my job as a PI better. It goes into the sequel. So
I don't know if she's hard-boiled enough to be a PI, though. And how many dames are going to come into her office?
Ooh, see, that would be very progressive for Disney.
That could be a whole nother movie, or that could be a fan fiction. If you guys find fan fiction along those lines, please send it our way. Wow.
Okay, yeah. I think that's it.
That's it for the minute. So what I would like to do now is hear more of your con stories, because you went to a huge long chain of cons, and I believe we left off with Biggest Little Fur Con, and then you've been to others since then. So
see, that would actually have been great to do. The minute that we did at Everfree would have been perfect at Biggest Little Fur Con, because the name Biggest Little Fur Con and the theme was like kaiju, so like macro, micro.
At whatever it is, Midwest Fur Fest or whatever, let's apply for a live one there too.
Midwest Fur Fest is November 30th through December 3rd, and EKLA is November 17th through 19th, so they're separate weekends. So
Are they
do both?
But they're both November?
Yes.
Okay, so, and one of those is in LA, or SoCal anyway, and where's Midwest Fur Fest?
Chicago? Yeah, Chicago. Rosemount, Chicago.
Interesting, I've never been out there. Maybe, yeah, if we can make that happen, that'd be a lot of fun. Well, anyway.
Okay, I'll apply anyways, but... yeah, so Biggest Little Fur Con, or BLFC, is the third... It's the fourth furry con I've attended, but third separate furry con. So I've done one Anthrocon, 2 Texas Furry Fiestas, so this is like my third individual furry con. Again, I'm not a furry. Just to make myself clear. Actually, I don't have a persona yet, so there we go.
Yet.
Let's talk about it.
Don't have one yet.
I did cosplay as police officer Nick Wilde on Saturday. I got to meet the other Nick Wilde cosplayer, who I think we really need to tweet at sometime. But it was actually an interesting con. I wasn't expecting too much of it. It was a con that boomed on the scene, and if anyone who knows about my con experience, who talks to me, or eventually if you guys read my con history book, I normally am suspicious of cons that are brand new, like 2 or 3 years old, and all of a sudden they just explode in attendance. I always see those as faulty, shaky cons that will just fall apart. But you know what? This was actually an interesting con. My big worries was we had a similar con to Pony Phantom called Las Vegas Unicon.
We do not dare speak of it.
Yeah, a con that took place in a casino resort and yada yada. And okay, that's going to be a bad experience. This con took place in one of the biggest, I think it was the biggest casino resort in Reno. And I actually must say, in retrospect, it is, without a doubt, the best location I've ever seen a con held.
Really?
I used to think the Baltimore Convention Center was a fantastic place. I still think Baltimore Convention Center is a great place for cons and whatnot. But the fact that this is a large casino resort, which is near the airport, and first of all, it has a free shuttle from the airport. So you don't have to pay to get to the con with taxis or Uber or Lyft or whatever. You could take that free shuttle to the convention. That hotel, if you're staying in the hotel, all that stuff is there for you. So it has a bunch of restaurants, at least 20 more restaurants within the place. It's like Johnny Rockets, buffets, pizza places, sub places. It has all the entertainment you need. So bowling, go-karting, a movie theater, all that stuff is inside. Yeah, and gambling. The slot machines, all of it is inside the place. So you don't even have to walk outside.
You don't even have to leave. You don't have to go into the horrible, horrible desert.
Yeah. And basically, when you go to Reno, what's the biggest tourist attraction? It's going to be that big casino. So you're basically in the landmark touristy place that you're supposed to be in anyways. And it's a big convention center, so it's fit for cons. So it's
is it actually a convention center?
Like it is a convention center.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was going to say, like, if the fact that what you're calling the best place for cons, if it isn't even a convention center, it's just a hotel or a resort or something, that's pretty crazy.
Well, it has like at least 3 floors for like, I think 2 floors were held specifically for the con.
So it's designed for events. For sure.
Oh yeah, it's like really, really big. So basically the same large dealer rooms you'll see at the San Diego or Baltimore Convention Center, they have them here.
Yeah.
So it's like really, really big rooms that they could divide up into smaller rooms or panels and stuff. So out of all the cons I've been to, I think this is one of the best locations I've seen. Of course, if it gets any bigger, like if it's BronyCon size, it probably might not work, but for the number it is, fantastic con. It was a fantastic experience. I came in not knowing really anyone, since most of the friends I know are from the Brony fandom, so I don't know too much people in the furry fandom, since I'm not a furry, again, hashtag. So the people who I knew coming in were all bronies. Unfortunately, we were staying off-site. I thought we were staying at the hotel on-site, but we got a cheaper hotel off-site, which a little bit annoying, but it was fine. But I got to meet a lot of people. What's interesting is I think we were joking about differences between brony and furry cons. BronyCons people are very, very antisocial. They don't really talk as much. The most they'll do is brohoof, which is good because they don't spread germs. Furries are very, very talkative. Right? They come up and hug random strangers, which was strange at first, but I mean, I got used to it after a while. Like, okay, hugs. But yeah, I think I got to meet more people randomly coming to my booth and chatting with them, and they became friends than I would at a PonyCon, even though most of the people I know at PonyCons are all vendor and artist friends. A lot of fursuiters, very, very different environment. I'm still new to fur cons, but I definitely think this experience made me want to continue them. I think I made about as much as I would at a regular PonyCon that I did this con. So there's a market there for me to sell art and stuff. And afterwards, I went to another con in Fort Worth, A-Con, which is, I think, the second largest anime con in the country at the moment. And they had 33,000 attendees, and I think that this con, Biggest Little Fur Con, probably had about 2,000 at most. And I made about the same amount at both cons, which is very surprising.
That is interesting. Now, you're in Reno. Did you gamble?
I did, actually. I did gamble.
Yeah? Make anything?
Well, first of all, my friend James, or Lysander, he used to run the business side of BabsCon, and apparently does a lot of work in the furrycon scene. And my other friend, artist friend, Rattledron, who was also there, Lysander actually lent me $14 and says, you can play whatever you want. If you lose the money, that's fine. But if you win anything, I just want the $14 difference back. So I went around and I won some like really, really small jackpot lotteries, like $20, $30. Nice. So it was very, very fun. And then Saturday, I just wanted to play again some more, and I won like 2 really big jackpots within 3 turns from the same machine. One, I think, was a $80 jackpot, and the other was a $20 or $30 jackpot. So I made about $100 from one machine. $120 from just one machine within 3 turns, which was really impressive.
That's decent. Wow.
But then I probably lost about the same. I think I lost about $75 of that. So, but at the end, I did make money. Okay. At the end, I didn't
lose anything. Yeah, winning's better than losing.
So that was actually surprising big. I think people are saying it's beginner's luck. So yeah, there I go. Because I tried the machine the other day afterwards, and I did not hit any jackpots, even though I was like there all day. So There you go.
Well, and it's so weird. I've not been to Reno. I've been to Vegas on 2 separate occasions, but both times I was too young to gamble. And so I've never been gambling anywhere, actually. There's a few casinos in Washington that are on Indian reservations that I've never made use of. I have friends that want me to go. I've not done that. But I just remember the times I was in Vegas, it was so funny to me how pervasive they are with the gambling. Like, you go into any public structure or any building will have some form of gambling in it. You can go into a gas station, there are slot machines. Airport terminal, slot machines. Like, it's everywhere. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, that was my impression as well. Coming to Reno, I got off the plane. I think I tweeted, and I think you saw the tweet. But the moment I got off the plane and got into the Reno terminal, I was like already greeted with slot machines. I go to like a 7-Eleven, there's a slot machine in the corner. I go to a Motel 6, and there's a slot machine in there. And then the small hotel we were at was just a regular Romana Inn, but it was branded as Romana Inn and Casino because they basically use part of the lobby to make actually, it was a small casino compared to the other ones I've been to, but a really big, good-sized casino. Like, it was at least 100 different slots and games there. And they even had a 24-hour diner just so to keep people in there. But it's funny because you don't think Romana Inns, you don't think of them having casinos, but this one specifically built a casino inside because
I figure it's every business you can just tack and casino onto there. It's like, body shop and casino. Woohoo. Yeah. Gardening supplies and casino. All right. McDonald's almost and casino.
Every place I've been to had at least one slot machine, if not more.
Yep.
So
it's pretty crazy.
There you go.
I'll have to return to Vegas someday, and Reno would be fun too. Lake Tahoe, want to go there. It'll be fun. All right, well, that's just about it for this episode then, I believe. So, thank you guys again so much for listening to Zootopia Minute, enjoying the podcast. If you do enjoy, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on Twitter at Zootopia Minute, like us on Facebook, and send us anything you want us to see to zootopiaminute@gmail.com. Negatives, positives, anything. We just love to hear from you.
If you're a furry or not a furry.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to us. We hate everyone equally. So there you go.
Exactly. Perfect.
All right, guys. So that'll do it. Until next time. See you later.
Bye.